If you want to know why I decided to become a real estate agent, then stay tuned and you will be surprised to know that the reason I became an agent is not because I had a passion for selling homes. Stay tuned. Hello my friends, thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Aaron from RE/MAX First, and today's video is all about how and why I decided to become a real estate agent. I believe that if you're ever gonna make the decision to hire me, I believe it's very important to know why I do what I do and how I got started in the first place, right? So let's get right into it. At the age of 13 to 14 years old, I got that, like, the hustler's bug, right? I would sell anything I could get my hands on, and I absolutely fell in love with the process of selling, right? I would start with just my own things, like my video games, my old phone, etc., and then led to furniture, then cars, and all of a sudden, right now, I'm selling homes, right? So the process of selling is what initially brought me here. But let's fast forward to 18 years old. Like most 18-year-olds, I had big goals, aspirations. You know, I wanted to have mansions, nice cars, secure a future for my family, retire my mom, things of that nature. And I always wanted to be my own boss and own my own business. But at 18 years old, that just never felt possible for me, right? So I'm like, okay, I'm 18, you know, I'm becoming an adult. I need to figure out what I'm gonna do as for the rest of my life in terms of my career, right? So I figured, since my ultimate goal is to be very wealthy, let me just study some rich people and see what they do and how they got wealthy, right? So I started doing a lot of research, and I quickly find out that almost everyone, that's the majority of people who are extremely wealthy, are wealthy because they own their own business. I'm like, bing, okay, that's gonna be the future. And then I also realized that, not just almost that, everybody who is wealthy makes money in one vehicle, then invests it in real estate to multiply, right? And I'm like, okay, so we know the end goal is to invest in real estate. We know the beginning goal is to start a business or make some money so that we can invest in real estate. 18 years old, the possibility of owning my own business just never felt real to me, right? So I completely ignored that, put that in the back burner, and I'm like, all right, let's focus on a career where I can go get a degree and basically start working and making some money, right? So I landed on becoming a mechanical engineer because engineers make good money, and it's easy to get a job once you get the degree. At least that's how I felt. If that's true, I honestly couldn't tell you. So I was always given the advice that whatever field you do end up choosing, you have to reach out and touch it somehow to make sure if that's really what you want to do before you fully commit yourself, right? And I was fortunate enough to actually get that opportunity. At 19 years old, I got a job as an application engineer, and quickly realized that this is not something I can do for the rest of my life. I'm already bored, and we're only 4 months into it, right? I mean, I love the problem-solving aspect of it, but I just didn't like the problems I was solving. To me, they weren't exciting, they weren't big enough, things of that nature, right? So I'm like, okay. At 19, I go into full panic mode. I'm like, oh my goodness, my life is over. My plan is in shambles. If I can't be an engineer, I can't make money, I can't invest it in real estate, and I cannot start my own business. It's over. But after the initial panic was over, I got some common sense and I started doing some research. And I'm like, okay, let's start with the end goal is to invest in real estate somehow. So the problem I'm dealing with is, how do I make the money that I can invest, right? And I'm like, well, here's a great idea. You love to sell. Why don't you become an agent, learn everything there's to know about real estate by being an agent and making your money like that, then just move it to investing in real estate to multiply. Simple, easy peasy. So I started figuring out how to be an agent, if it's worth it, right? If they can make money, etc. And then I quickly realized that it's completely possible, right? I looked into what an agent does, things of that nature, but something that really put the nail in the coffin, I'm like, yes, this is what I'm gonna do, is two things. Number one, I realized it's equivalent to owning your own business, and it's got an extremely low entry cost, right? So as you know, I always wanted to own my own business and be my own boss, so just that alone was enough to get me to become a real estate agent. But here's the second statistic. When I saw it, I'm like, oh yes, this is what I need. Now, to a regular person, this may frighten them, but to me, since I was young, naive, it was actually good news. I found out that 87% of realtors fail in their first 2 years, right? Now, regular person, maybe a little concerned after reading this. Me, I felt like this. You mean to tell me that 87% of my competition will completely be out of the business within 2 years? All I have to do is outlast them? Huh. I have time on my side. At the time I was 19 years old, right? So I felt that that was actually an advantage for me, not a disadvantage, right? So obviously seeing a failure rate so high, I'm like, let me dig into this. Let's find out why it's so high so I don't end up a statistic when I get my license. And I quickly realized there's 2 reasons why. Number one is basically false expectations. A lot of agents get their license thinking it's an extremely easy job. You know, people just randomly call you to sell their homes. It's super awesome. All you have to do is wear a nice suit. Boom, you're in business, right? What a lot of people don't realize is the same as owning your own business. And if you know the statistics on that, 97% of the businesses fail within their first 3 years. I believe that's the statistic. So I guess realtors are a little better than that, but it's the same as owning your own business, and not a lot of people are prepared for that situation, or having no income for 6 months. You know, and that really what leads them to end up having to leave the business because they have families to support, etc. Reason number 2, there is absolutely no training in this industry, ladies and gentlemen. You get your license, you get a beautiful desk, and someone says, here, good luck. We'll see you in 2 years. Something along those lines, right? So I'm like, okay, this is awesome, right? Most of my competition will be out of the business. Excellent. And all I have to do is train. I'm like, all right, well, let's get my license. Let's do it. And then I quickly realized in Illinois, you have to be 21 years old to be licensed realtor, right? So I had 2 years to kill, and I'm like, okay, I will not start at a disadvantage. So I spent the next 2 years learning everything I could about real estate, both investing and being an agent, how to get business, how to sell a home, how to advertise a home, everything along those lines. So day one of real estate, I had 2 years of knowledge behind me. So that was really, what's the phrase? A surprise in disguise or something like that. Whatever, you know what I'm saying. It was a blessing in disguise. That's the 2 years mark that I had to wait, was a blessing in disguise. So I get into real estate, and then I'm basically working, and now we're almost 2 years into the business. There's no doubt that I will be making it past the 2-year mark, and I will be here for decades to come because I absolutely love this job. Now initially I didn't get into it because I had a passion for selling homes specifically. I had a passion for selling, period. That's it. And I absolutely fell in love with being a realtor because I have the opportunity to market myself in any way I choose. There's nobody telling me how to make these videos, how to speak, or anything like that. So I can be 100% myself, and whoever wants to work with me, great, thank you. Whoever doesn't, I apologize. We can make that connection. So that's it. That's the reason I became a real estate agent. I just saw a great opportunity to succeed if I just put my head down and work. So that is what I'm doing. My head is down, I am working. So if you need real estate advice, real estate help, assistance, whatever the case is, contact me. You probably know how to reach me. Either send me a private message, I will put my phone number somewhere, or figure it out. Thank you so much for your time, ladies and gentlemen. You have a great day.